Hey guys, it's Tim Miller from the Bulwark. All right, Donald Trump today had a moment that I think will be a memorable moment from this campaign, or at least a memorable image of him at the McDonald's. A couple of memorable images, I guess, because I'm stealing this joke from my man Sam Youngman, but the guy looks like he needed to order a McGirdle there in one of those pictures. But I want to talk about just the photo op in general, because on the one hand, I think that, if we're just going to call stuff straight here and just be honest, it's a good photo op for him. All right, it just is. Like, that's how, just looking at it just purely as judging it aesthetically on politics. Like, aesthetically, it's smart to do. It's the type of situations that when I was working on campaigns, you try to put your politicians in situations that kind of, accentuated arguments you were trying to make. And the argument they're trying to make here is that he actually cares about working class people and is whatever, the candidate for the forgotten man. So we all know it's BS. We all know it's BS. And I'm going to get into the BS part. But as an image, it's good. But then once you go one step lower than that, like one layer deeper, it also is an image that reinforces a lot of his negatives, because the whole thing is phony. The actual photo op itself was phony. The policy arguments he's making are phony. And so I just want to go through both of those things to just kind of really focus on what is important here, right? Like, not getting wrapped up in the Donald Trump tabloid of it all, because he's good at the tabloid. He's good at thinking of an image that'll look nice on the New York Post tomorrow. That's his bailiwick. He's an 80s New York tabloid creature. So he's got that. But what about the actual story, the words? Let's look into that a little bit. So for starters, you might want to look at this here. Obviously, anybody that is not an idiot knows that Donald Trump did not just start working at the drive-thru at a random McDonald's. Big risk that if he did that, the person coming through the drive-thru would tell him to F off. So it wasn't actually a McDonald's that was open. They'd closed it down. Here's the message that they had on the store, letting customers know they're going to be closed that day to have Donald Trump come through. So there you go. It's closed McDonald's. Not real. The whole thing isn't real. And again, if you're going to do a photo ops are photo ops. He isn't the only politician doing something like that. But then when you watch the videos, you just kind of see how ridiculous it is. Here are a couple of the kind of viral videos that were going around. This one is from the vantage point of the press. And you can hear the person driving up saying, "This is crazy."
Hey, it's crazy.
I'm having a lot of fun here, everybody.
Oh my God, oh my God.
Like, I guess it is crazy, but they knew. It wasn't like it was a surprise. They're trying to do the surprise. And then here's the one from Trump's vantage point. And listen to this.
A lot of fun here, everybody.
Oh my God, oh my
Look
God.
Look at all the fake news over there. Hello, everybody.
You can fake this,
And
right?
you know this is compliments of Trump, okay?
It's like, this is the Orwellian part about all of this. It's like the person driving up is like pretending for the cameras very badly. He's is not a real actor, obviously, so they're doing a bad acting job of like, oh my God, like pretending to be surprised that it's Trump. And then Trump, though, is saying, look at all the fake news out there. So it's like, this is how he perverts the language. It's like, what he is doing is fake. Like, his exchange is fake. The news is covering it and actually giving him more attention and more PR than he deserves. But yet he's insulting them and saying that they are the fake ones, because he can't take any criticism. And anytime people point out the truth about him, he has to just denounce that as a lie and say, okay, well, you're fake news, right? And so it's just like, this whole thing is just a ridiculous charade at some level, right? Where it's he's having a fake exchange and calling the media that are covering it fake. It rubs me the wrong way. But there's some policy elements that come out of this, which is funny. Eventually, the quote-unquote fake news, the real news, finally does get to ask him some questions. And it's telling in two ways that, once you dig beneath the photo op of it all, the policy side of the policy side of this, Trump doesn't have any answers. First, there's the substantive question about, hey, you're here at McDonald's. You're standing next to people that are working fast food jobs. What do you think about raising the minimum wage?
Minimum wage should be raised.
Well, I think these people work hard. They're great. And I just saw a process that's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. These are great franchises and produce a lot of jobs, and it's great. And great people working here, too.
He doesn't have an answer. He just talks about how they're nice people and stuff. But Trump himself has said in the past that he doesn't like paying overtime. And so this whole like Tribune of the working man shtick, this whole thing about, oh, I'm on behalf of the forgotten man and the Democrats are for the elites and I'm for you. It's all just bronzer. It's just as fake as the photo op. All right? Because he doesn't actually support any of these policies. And to me, it's like, regardless of what you actually think about the merits of these policies and what the Pennsylvania minimum wage should be exactly, it's like the telling thing is that he doesn't actually care. Right? He doesn't even have a substantive answer. Right? It's not even like he's making the answer of, oh, well, I actually think it might hurt people if you raise the minimum wage too much because there could be job displacement. Like, he's not saying, he doesn't care. He isn't trying to come up with a populist economic plan. He frankly, couldn't give two shits about what the woman standing next to him made and whether she can afford rent, whether she can afford groceries, the hours, like the actual things that people need help from the government for, these essentials. Like the safety net, the benefits. Trump doesn't have a solution for any of that. And he isn't trying to offer them one. He's just trying to give them a picture. And I think that's the most damning thing about the whole exchange and the whole sort of McDonald's effort. There's one other question that he gets, which is about whether he'll accept the results of the election. Let's watch that.
Either way, will you accept the results of the election?
Yeah, sure. If it's a fair election, I would always accept it. It's got to be a fair election. We're leading in all the polls then. We're leading in every swing state, and we're doing well. And it's no, I don't think so. In fact, they just had an RCP said we're 93.2% chance of winning. I think that's pretty good.
And there's not much more to say about that than you haven't already said. But again, like, if you can't do a McDonald's photo op without just having the day be derailed by the fact that you might not accept the election results and we might have another insurrection on our hands if you lose because you're going to have a temper tantrum because you're a child, like, that's not the sign of a candidate we can trust. So a little more background on this. A couple other funny side elements. I think my favorite tweet about all of this was from my friend, my colleague Bill Crystal, who you'll be seeing on the podcast, about how the Biden economy is so great that even felons are getting jobs again. they're letting ex-cons get jobs now because we are at such full employment. Really good from Crystal. He might have got outdone by Matt Drudge, who I think had the funniest take on this, who had the headline at the top of his feed, McDonald, one fry short of a Happy Meal. That's good. I guess finally the whole thing is for people, I assume most of you guys know this, but like the whole background of this, like why he ended up doing this, again, just shows how he kind of reverses reality, how everything is inverse for him. Like he tries to take things that are true and make them false. He projects his own failings onto others. The reason that he did this is because Kamala actually did work at a McDonald's. And there's like a conspiracy theory on the right that this is made up. This isn't true. And so a lot of right-wing social media accounts out there were pushing like, oh, Donald actually worked at a McDonald's, but Kamala didn't. And again, this is their total projection. Donald Trump's whole career is a farce. His net worth, he lied to Forbes about. His university, Trump University, was a fraud. The idea that he had a good business acumen was fake. Apprentice, fake. This McDonald's photo op, fake. He's fake, he's fake, he's fake, he's fake. And in order to try to offset the vulnerability of his phoniness, he does this thing that tries to impugn his own shortcomings onto the vice president. And so I hope that, if you're talking to people in your life and the McDonald's photo op comes up, you can say, okay, well, sure. Like, it's a good gimmick, but that's all he is. That's all he has to offer, gimmicks. When the actual substance was brought to him, he came up empty. And that's just the Trump story. So anyway, make sure to subscribe to the feed on this page, live streaming. My colleague Sarah Longwell in conversation with Liz Cheney and Kamala Harris. Make sure you've hit that alarm bell. That will be on Monday, October 21st, late morning, early afternoon. So make sure you're checking that out. The full conversation will be up on our page when it's over as well. Subscribe to the feed. We'll see you guys soon.